Hey, what is going on, you guys? My name is Rayge, and we are back today with another quick video in regards to the upcoming Death Scourge in last week's blog post, guys. In case you haven't seen it, they did give us further notification on how the nodes are going to be looking like once the Death Scourge comes about. The big two notable changes being the minions for nodes 1 and 2, but as well as the non-legendary mutants being required as well for nodes 6 and 7, guys. So that said, in today's video, we're going to be diving into some of the best non-legendary mutants in the game, because I feel like this does deserve a video of its own just due to the variety and number of mutants that we have. And the good news is it's only going to be 2 nodes, so we just have to be very effective and efficient with what's feasible, and as well as combinations that we can likely take advantage of. That said, guys, in the roster here, as you can see, I've kind of filtered every mutant in the game. And as well, what makes this kind of tricky and difficult is, you know, some of these teams actually require the legendary character counterpart to be fully effective. I mean, that said, you know, characters like Rogue, Omega Red, Jubilee, Phoenix, and Magneto, you know, these are all very powerful characters that really truly make their team respectively. And without them actually being in it, there is actually some difficulties that we're going to assess here overall. But the good news, though, however, is that now that we're kind of building towards potentially 2 teams, because of us being in the end game, you likely will have a lot of different characters already kind of built up that we can kind of you know, slot and plug and play and see what combinations will work. But there are some notable characters that I do want to talk about, and those and some I don't recommend. So that's what we're going to really go through today. First and foremost, regardless of the team that you use, guys, my big recommendation out of all these mutants definitely is Beast, because he provides a lot of benefits regardless if you're utilizing an Uncanny X-Men team or an Astonishing X-Men. Both teams that are used in the end game, either in War or in the Doom Raids right now. Really notably, you know, Beast actually has one of the few cleanses. He can actually clear negative conditions from himself, as well as Astonishing X-Men with a heal. He's also got a very powerful ultimate ability, Mutant Enhancement. You can see applying offense up, defense up, speed up, depending on if the character's uncanny or astonishing, so forth, and as well as kind of where they classify as being support, blaster, brawler. So I mean, this is really huge, guys. He's just going to be able to provide a lot of value regardless of which team combination you utilize. So I highly recommend, especially being part of that Uncanny and Astonishing X-Men team. That said, do I recommend the Astonishing X-Men even though Jubilee is not actually included? That's going to be characters like Iceman, Bishop, and Kitty Pryde. Out of that mixture, to be honest, I think Iceman is a really good character because, yeah, he does have his ultimate ability here where he can barrier himself. He's got a revive and applying slow as well. And when the enemies are actually slowed, it does actually reduce damage overall, especially if they're slowed. So keep that in mind. It also reduces their armor. But the damage, however, as you can see, only applies in raids. So it's not going to be as effective. But I think the fact that he has revive with barrier, he can provide a little bit of support if needed. But he doesn't really have the damage aspect. So that's something to be mindful of. Bishop, part of the Astonishing X-Men too. But the thing is Bishop truly shines with Jubilee. He doesn't get a lot of value with Jubilee being out of the team. His special ability here, if Jubilee is an ally, gains offense up, primary target damage gets increased, offense up, defense up to Jubilee. It's also unavoidable and always crit. So I mean, he loses a lot of benefits because of him not being slotted in with Jubilee. So that's why it's kind of hard to see myself using Astonishing X-Men, to be honest, with the exception of Beast, because Iceman, Bishop, Kitty Pryde also really gain value from Jubilee's passive turn meter, where they enemies go down, they get more turn meter. So I mean, that's something to be mindful of, guys. So for that reason, I don't think I would recommend Astonishing X-Men unless you just need them as kind of a plug and play sacrificial team. Beast for sure is the top rec of that team, though. That brings me now then to my next kind of team dynamic here, being the Unlimited X-Men, rounded off by Rogue. This is the newest mutant team in the game outside of Death Seed that's not fully released yet. But the good news is we actually have access to a very powerful character like Gambit. Not farmable in the game yet, but if you guys got his shards unlocked previously before, standalone character, he is very, very good. A lot of reasons, right? Especially with his passive here. He gains charges. He truly shines in Cosmic Crucible, but the fact is that at the end of each enemy turn, he still attacks the enemy for piercing damage and applies heal block. And overall, he actually provides a lot of value for any kind of associated Unlimited X-Men. In addition, whenever he does crit, he applies evasion to Unlimited X-Men allies as well. So, as well as an HP boost. So, I mean, that means if you guys are planning planning to bring in Gambit, I highly recommend him being combinated with other unlimited X-Men. Don't just use him as a plug and play. He's really can provide value to Sunfire, Phantom X, Dazzler. They don't truly all shine together without Rogue, but I mean, the combination of those four with Beast could very likely be a combination I'm thinking about using, just because at least they will all gain benefit from having Gambit together. Sunfire can do a boatload of damage. Phantom X doesn't really do too much, but at least he can taunt, he can do some piercing damage. Dazzler will be good to be able to kind of strip away some positive buffs, apply an ability block, crowd control, extend negative conditions. So I do like her value there, especially with them being statistically a newer team. They would provide value in that dynamic in combination with Beast. So that's kind of a team combination I'm seeing. Another one that's kind of plug and play dynamic duo. I always have Emma Frost and Mr. Sinister built up previously from my past Dark Dimensions, but Emma Frost, she's still used in the arena meta right now. She's still very relevant. She's got a good cleanse. Her turn the table's ultimate ability applies a blind. She's also able to strip away positive buffs from the enemy, so that could be very useful when combinated with other characters on your team. So something to be mindful of. Mr. Sinister, very adaptable to the situation. He could use a rework in terms of his stats overall, but it's still a tanky character nonetheless. He has a heal. He can clone an enemy if need be. I haven't used him in quite a while since my Dark Dimension 4 days, but I mean, he's still a good character when combinated with Emma Frost and some of the other Marauders aspects of the team, right? So that's kind of what I'm seeing right now, guys. Psylocke recently got reworked to be part of that new Death Seed team. We don't have Dark Beast in the game yet. I wouldn't recommend her yet. I don't think she's going to shine without the rest of the team yet, but I mean, keep in mind, she's also part of the Uncanny if you are planning to bring them in. I also don't know if I would recommend X Factor. Unless you're just planning to bring on Longshot and Shatterstar, because of them being the dad brothers, they have the synergy to gain barrier, have crits with each other. But bringing in the full X Factor, they're just not going to have the sustainability that you're going to need in these Scourges where there's constant waves coming at you. They're just not a raid type of team. So for that reason, if you guys are planning to bring in them, I would only recommend Longshot and Shatterstar, and only if they're built up. And again, I would still recommend having Beast somewhere in that mixture there. I would not recommend, unfortunately, any of the guys part of the X-Force, just because of the fact that they've really kind of dipped down into the game. Statistically, they're just not there. Deadpool and Domino has that synergy where Deadpool can at least be revived, but I mean, it's just not going to be dependable and reliable in these Scourges. Same with Brotherhood. Brotherhood, now that Magneto's kind of shifted to the Death Seed, the Brotherhood doesn't really have a place, so I wouldn't recommend them. I wouldn't recommend X-Force. I still think X-23 is a good standalone character, but she just doesn't hold her own, unfortunately, without some synergies. They can use some rework and love, and again, you guys will likely have her not as built up as well, similar to my roster. So if that's the reason, I wouldn't recommend them. Let's talk about maybe another combination team that you may have potentially built up in War, and that's going to be the Uncanny X-Men. If you are planning to bring in Uncanny because of the fact that you have them built up already for War, you got to have Magic in there. She provides a lot of benefits to her fellow X-Men allies, and it doesn't necessarily have to include just Uncanny. You can see her barrier, her charges all apply to all X-Men allies. Uncanny just gets more value because they actually gain additional armor, but she's going to be able to provide percentage drain to them, giving them a source of sustainability and healing. So very well, I can see Magic actually being a slotting character if need be, if you guys have her built up. But for sure, if you're planning to bring her, consider other Uncanny X-Men, including Storm, Cyclops, Wolverine, as well as Beast, obviously, just being part of that mixture, right? I think that's a good combination we can utilize for sure. And then otherwise, like I said, guys, I think the go-to is likely going to be the Unlimited X-Men here. I would not recommend Astonishing. And then that really just kind of leaves the Marauders mixed in with remnants of other characters, like from other teams, like Namor specifically. Madeline Pryor is a very good character, being part of Marauders. But again, they're more of a war-focused team, so that's why I wouldn't recommend them. And then as well, Weapon X. There's some aspects here, but they truly shine with Omega Red. Without him being the core of that, I actually just wouldn't recommend it. There's some standing alone good characters like Silver Samurai. Lady Deathstrike's really good. I got her built up. But again, they're just not going to get enough synergy being part of this mixture here. And actually, I don't even think Lady Deathstrike part of the Mutant mixture here, now that I look through here. So yeah, there you go. You just won't have the synergy fully. Only some of them are classified as mutants. So there you guys have it. I think the top go-to is going to be Unlimited X-Men with Beast combination. Just because with them being newer, they're going to have the advantages of Gambit. And then another B-tier team would likely be, I think, the Astonishing X-Men. You know, characters like Iceman, Bishop, Kitty Pryde. They're built up likely for raids, so they can be a good sacrificial team going in, just trying to weaken the loads, and then we can finish them off with the Unlimited X-Men team with Beast in combination of that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm very eager to hear what you guys think. The good news is it is only 2 nodes, so I mean, it's not going to be the end of the world. We have to kind of pivot a bit, but for sure, I think these are some safer strategies to go, especially when we already have Unlimited X-Men built up for the unlock of Apocalypse. So there you guys have it. Thank you as always. Happy Black Friday. Thank you, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.